Hello everyone. This is an explainer video on French Revolution Part 1, brought to you by Navodaya Foundation, Mysuru. Before going into French Revolution, we will have a brief flashback of what society was like in France and about the powers and personalities of the king and its relation to France's revolution. The political system of France was that of a monarchy, and in 1774 Louis XVI was the king, who was married off at a very early age of 20 years to an Austrian princess. But he had a problem when he was coronated. The treasury of the state was empty. This is because of many wars that France involved itself with and huge expenditure for the maintenance of luxurious palace of Versailles, and due to huge expenditure incurred in freeing up of America's colony from Britain. And to finance all this, France had taken loans which had a very high interest rate, which drained the state's finances. So this was the financial situation of France in 18th century. Now let us see the social situation of French society in 18th century. The society was divided into three estates. The first one was clergy, the second one was nobility, and third one consisted of ordinary people. Clergy were people who worked in churches and were duty bound to pray. Nobility had kings, ministers, and were duty bound to protect. And the third consisted of ordinary people who were involved themselves in diverse professions, trades, and activities. But this system had a problem, which was close to 90% of the population came within the third estates and were extremely poor. And huge proportion of landless peasants, tenants, and small and marginal farmers were within this third estate. So the financial burden of first and second estates fell on the third estates, and first and second estates enjoyed many privileges by birth. And these privileges were, first one among them was first and second estates paid no taxes, but third estates paid taxes such as tithe and tile. And secondly, 60% of the land was controlled by the church. And thirdly, services were expected from the third estates by the first two estates. The next big problem that France faced was increasing population. In 1715, population was 23 million, which became 28 million by 1789. Thus, a resource crunch was faced because demand increased, and subsequently, even food insecurity situation came up. The prices of bread, which was their staple diet, increased tremendously, and the nobility was ignorant to this grave problem that was facing the ordinary population. And on the other hand, wages of the workers were stagnant and very less. This led to a situation of subsistence crisis, where even fulfilling the basic needs like food, clothing, and shelter would become very difficult. This led to people to revolt. Now, we will see how the revolt started. On 14 July of 1789, approximately 7,000 people, both men and women, gathered to form People's Militia. They attacked Bastille, which was a prison. Now, Bastille was particularly hated by the people of France because they thought that weapons and armory of the king were stored here, and Bastille signified king's despotic power. So the people killed the commanders and freed the prisoners. So this was the initial action that was taken by the France's population. And the revolt went on increasing subsequently till an extent that king had to withdraw his power. Now, before we conclude, we will see the ideas that were given by the intellectuals which influenced the revolution. Now, three important personalities do come here, which include John Locke, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, and Montesquieu. John Locke gave an idea that monarchy was wrong and the people were important. While Rousseau said social contract should exist between people and the government and representative should exist for the people, while Montesquieu gave the idea of separation of powers between legislative, executive and the judiciary. Now these ideas were discussed and spread widely in parlors, shopping places and coffee houses, which made the ideas popular. Thus, in this video, we have understood the political situation, the financial situation, the social situation and the actions along with the ideas which precipitated the political revolution. Hope you have understood the first part of the French Revolution. We will be subsequently coming with part 2, which describes the later events. Thank you for watching. Please do subscribe, share, like our channel. Thank you once again.